नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ 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 नमो भगवते
Good morning, Guten Morgen. Today we shall say a new prayer. If you have a prayer book in your hand, please turn to page number 10. Only the third and fourth lines. I will say, please repeat after me. It doesn't matter even if you don't have the prayer book in your hands. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya. Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityo Ma Mrutangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So the meaning of the first prayer that we have said now is there on page number 11. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, may all be happy. Sarve santu niramaya, may all be free from disease. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu, may all realize what is good. Ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet, may none be subject to misery. So you know that there is a lot of suffering in the world. May not be in our own family, but if you look at the society as a whole, there's so much of suffering. So what happens if you say a prayer like this? Our consciousness expands. Vivekananda would say, expansion is life, contraction is death. So when you want to help the society, the help need not be always in terms of material help, distribution of clothes, food, or other material things, not necessary. There is suffering, and it's not in our power to reduce or to mitigate the suffering of all. Just you say a prayer, may all be happy. Your consciousness expands, and some happiness will come to somebody else in the world because you have prayed unselfishly, and that prayer will reach God, and actually, only He has the capacity to alleviate the suffering of individuals. Okay? Only the Supreme. Otherwise, the world is so big. How much you can do, how much anybody else can do, how much an organization can do. It's only a small thing. We can't really help the people in that way. But we can invoke the blessings of the Lord upon others through our prayer. If your prayer is unselfish and if it is sincere, definitely your prayer will help somebody else because you have said an unselfish prayer. God will help those. So it also it's for our own good. Swamiji says expansion is life, contraction is death. The more you expand, the greater the energy and the power that we will be able to manifest. Now please turn to page number 17. The second quote in the page. The very reason of nature's existence is for the education of the soul. It has no other meaning. It is there because the soul must have knowledge, and through knowledge free itself. If we remember this always, we shall never be attached to nature. We shall know that nature is a book in which we are to read, and that when we have gained the required knowledge, the book is of no more value to us. The very reason of nature's existence is for the education of the soul. If we just look at human civilization, we have been striving to create a perfect world for millennia. We want a world where nobody would suffer, right? That's a perfect world. Nobody has any kind of suffering. Everybody is happy. Everybody has all the wants satisfied. We've been striving for this kind of ideal society, the ideal world, a perfect world for almost millennia. Have we succeeded? Have we succeeded? See, just 40, 50 years, you just look at, there is more physical suffering. So if you just want to draw water, you would have to walk a mile, get water. You just see in our homes also, those machines were not available. You just want to make idli, how our mothers used to. Maybe my mother used to do it. It would take actually 45 minutes just to make idli because so much of physical labor. The suffering was more at physical plane. Now actually the suffering has shifted to psychological plane. But suffering is more or less the same. The quantum of suffering has not diminished. It won't diminish. Let us say that actually through our efforts, if we become successful in diminishing the quantum of suffering or quantum of misery, quantum of evil in the society, then that means we are aspiring for a time where there would not be any kind of suffering, any kind of evil in the world. Right? That's an ideal society or ideal world or complete world or perfect world. But that's not going to happen. Why? See, if there is a perfect world, there are two perfections. The creator is perfect and the creation is perfect. Right? There's a contradiction in terms. Only there is one perfection in this universe, that is God or consciousness, which is the substratum or the source of the universe. If this world is also perfect, or if it becomes perfect, then there are two perfections. They limit each other. So there's no such possibility. Then why should we try to do good to the society when we cannot increase goodness as a rule? But you have to, because you are designed in such a way that you have to do some karma. So you try your best to increase good in the world, not that the quantum of good will really get enhanced. And over a period of time, completely evil will be eliminated and only good will remain. It's not going to happen. It will never happen. You will not become a fanatic. Quietly you will work. With detachment, you will be able to walk. That is for your inner purification. That's what Swamiji says. Whole of nature is only just to educate our soul. In the sense, we will try to perfect the world, then we understand that it cannot be really perfected. And then you turn your attention inward. When you turn your attention inward, you understand that you're already complete, you're already perfect, you're already the Lord or the truth. Only because you are wrongly identified with the body and mind, and then actually you are identified with the external physical universe, and you think that actually it will bring you the ultimate joy and peace and happiness. It will not. And then you take a inward turn. That's called nivrutti in Sanskrit, nivrutti in Vedantic parlance. The world can never be a perfect world. Only God is perfect. Nature is not perfect. Nature means both our physical nature, our psychological nature, and the external universe. Anything that is an aggregate of parts, an aggregate of particles can never be perfect. That which is non-material, that which is not three-dimensional, that alone can be perfect. So two perfections cannot exist. There's only one thing that is perfect, that is the creator. The creation is eternally changing, so it's imperfect. But we try to perfect it in the hope of actually creating an ideal world. But we'll understand after some time that a world can never be ideal, world can never be perfect, because it's by design. It's constituted in such a way because it is transitory, it can never become perfect. Through actually the experiences, we understand that perfection lies beyond the physical and the psychological. Then you drop the physical and the psychological. You won't identify with the physical and the psychological, and that is the moment you attain enlightenment. Till then, actually, we'll be striving. We just through so much of technology, how much of comfort and conveniences we have brought into our lives, but still there is suffering, right? So much of striving has happened. For millennia, we have been striving to perfect the world. It has not happened. It will not happen because it's not there out. Nothing that is physical, nothing that is psychological can ever be perfect. Only the spiritual can be perfect. Nothing that is made of material or nothing that is made of thought can ever be perfect. So we'll experiment, we'll strive, we'll strive, and then you look at how can I attain to perfection. Then you drop your identification with the physical and the psychological. That's basically yoga. Yoga is basically to detach ourselves from the body and the mind and to experience our real being as spirit. That would happen. That's called actually turning inward. So after experimenting the world, external world, we'll turn inward, we'll become spiritual, and we'll become God one day. We're already God, but we wrongly identified the physical and psychological. We have forgotten our divine nature, that's all. We will regain our divine nature. We will retrace our steps back after some time, after some experiences in the world, then the cycle is complete. Okay, thank you this much for today. Have a nice day.